Welcome back everyone and welcome to my channel. Good to talk to you once again, and today I'm thinking to share with you what is my best recommendation for the 12 rank season. Now before I gonna start to say about the 12 rank season, remember guys, and there is a tier 8 matchmaking. I do believe it's 8 versus 8, something like that, and of course being a tier 8, the carrier is always there, or the carrier could definitely be shall I say, someone who probably does not like to play with or with against the CV. It could be an issue then. And something else, the reward is kind of a meh. You receive some credits, a lot of flags, but the main probably goal, it's the rank 1. It's definitely those 10,000 coal. So if you want to still play this and want to have different kind of a battle versus regular battle, standard battle, rank, it's definitely something that force people playing more like as a team, and that's the only reason I kind of a person like it, because at the end of the day, the team who has the best communication, best knowledge of the game, best teamwork, yes, that's the right word, best teamwork will win. So guys, before I gonna jump destroyers, cruisers, you name it, I will start about Battleship. I will like to put 3 battleships, or shall I say even 4 battleship, the best battleship for this tier, no matter what you're gonna face. And I would like to say the Tirpitz, Bismarck, and Odin, and USS Massachusetts are the top one. I will actually put them as number 1 choice. Yes, you can take your Amagi, you can take some UPNS tier 8 Vladivostok and so on. Overall, I would like to say you have an upper hand if you have Tirpitz, Bismarck, Odin, or USS Massachusetts. And why I'm going for USS Massachusetts, it's all about the armor, hydro, torpedo, but definitely the improved secondary build with, let me put it this way. If a cruiser wants to spam you, I do believe he's doing something wrong, and you will face most of your enemy within your secondary range. I won't believe for a bit that the battle will be 20 kilometers away sniping everyone. It's never gonna happen. You will most likely win the team if you are together with probably another battleship like USS Massachusetts or someone else, together with the Tirpitz or Bismarck, 3 battleships, secondary build battleships pushing towards a cap. Then what the hell you do if you are a destroyer? Then what the hell you do if you're only cruisers? And we'll get to cruiser later. I believe the biggest powerhouse is definitely the Germans ones. And I can definitely see, because here's the deal guys, if Amagi is trying to hold the flank, never gonna happen versus 2 German battleship, even though they probably won't kill them ASAP with the main guns. It's together with the secondary, together with torpedoes and stuff like that. Odin's has hydro, torpedo, and secondary build. So what the hell you want another type of battleship? You may argue that USS Massachusetts great versus light armor destroyers, if they are within, and they will be under the secondary build, because most of tier 8 destroyers guys only have 10 kilometers torpedoes. 10 kilometers torpedo, you are in those pain in the as secondary. And by the way, the German has the improved pen, which basically they will do full damage every single hit to any light armor cruisers or destroyer. So overall guys, I would like to very much say the powerhouse, the number 1 to go, it's definitely the battleship. If you still want to take something else, what shall I say? I believe, without saying too much, depend of your playstyle, depend how good you are, the best ships that you can do most impact. I repeat, most impact. If you're good or bad play, it's all about the carrier. If you're a good carrier captain, you can have a huge damn impact. And the truth is, guys, probably there will be some destroyers, but the tier 8 carriers, they have no problem whatsoever to deal with almost all destroyers beside USS Kidd, and in some regards the Akizuki. The Akizuki and USS Kidd are the strongest tier 8 platforms for destroyers. I'm not saying they are immune, but this combination with press P when it's necessary and put your smoke and your AA to work after it can make in some ways work. On the other hand, a very skilled CV captain waits for that smoke to cool down and he goes to town to that destroyer, and even if he will not probably kill him, the friendly team most likely do the most damage to that poor destroyer. So in some regards, I do not recommend you playing a destroyer in this rank season. Unfortunately, it is that truth, guys. Yes, you can do it. On the other hand, the biggest problem with this rank season, it's most likely that the game will be at close range. You want to cap, and there is a ship like Tallinn and Chapel with 12 kilometers. By the way, detection is 10.4. So of course, when you're detected, let's say you're playing the Chapel, you're detected, suddenly there's no CV, only a destroyer or two, you pop your radar and you do very short work to that destroyer. So once again, guys, this thing has too fast of reload, too much daka, too many tools to deal with any destroyer, and seriously, the problem with the Soviet cruiser, and this is the biggest problem, is that even though you're playing Kiev or something ridiculous fast, those close to 950 meters per second shells have no whatsoever problem to deal with anything fast, even the French speed monster, Le Tebrele, all that, you know what I mean. By the way, I do not recommend, if you find yourself your French destroyer versus CV, then you're gonna not have any fun game whatsoever. And if you have unlucky to play against only Soviet cruiser with 12 kilometers radar, then what the hell you do? So overall, guys, I would like to say the biggest problem with this tier, all destroyers that have more or less I do believe yes, everyone, I do believe, have less than 10 kilometers or less in torpedo range, and they are all within the radar range, and that's the problem. And same story, guys, I would like to say that this is extremely strong versus destroyer. Versus anything else, it's a mediocre as the best. On the other hand, the Tallinn has a little bit more HP pool, has great guns, a lot of firepower. The reload, it's mediocre. I'm not saying that you have any DPM, but you do have pretty darn good concealment, radar, and crazy good guns for its tier. But it's not just this, I would like to say that, yeah, it's a very strong cruiser, but not quite my playstyle. I would rather, I know it sounds extremely weird what I'm gonna say right now, but one of my top recommended ship of all tier ships, it's actually this one. Now, how is that? You don't have quite tools, you don't have 12 kilometers radar, you barely have any 9 guns versus everyone else who has 12 guns and so on. But the playstyle of this small speed demon, which is, when you have a speed boost on, it's that yeah, you're never gonna hit this one at some range. I'm talking about you as a battleship. You think you can just nuke this. You may or you may not, but if this captain knows exactly what he's doing, he will harass you and put you fire after fire after fire until you burn and you have struggled to hit him. On the other hand, the problem with the rank season is that you are kind of a close quarter, in your face type of gameplay. And of course, the battleship are the one who's gonna dictate the pace. But I still believe the Charles Martel, it's a fantastic cruiser overall. I really, really like her. And then, of course, it's the Edinburgh, which has a great concealment, a lot of good Daka firepower. On the other hand, you're never gonna have any fire anytime soon. Only the British AP and some very badass heal. Yes, you have heal and smoke, which is actually makes her kind of a unique in that place. But versus 12 kilometers radar, I'm just saying good luck. I do not recommend her. There are some ships that could be extremely hard and strong. Sorry, not hard. It's of course our Pitacau or the Atago. You have bad reload, but the concealment is fantastic, and the best weapon of this ship is definitely the torpedo. You can stealth torp. You see my torpedo detection by sea 9.3. I have 10 kilometers torpedo, of which this first launcher, this is the biggest difference between this one and Mogami. You can always use those torpedo pretty damn good angle, so you don't have to kite away and send the torps. Yes, the rear one, yes, but in the middle you have pretty alright-ish torpedo angle and 10 kilometers. And they hit like trucks, and I would like to say that you most likely land some torps if you know exactly what you're doing in each and every game. And the guns and HE are fantastic. The percent to put your enemy on fire, it's also pretty hilarious. What it is, I do believe it's of course you pay with squidging. You have no armor whatsoever. You have extremely bad armor, and only Mogami it's more squishy, and Chapaev is made of citadels, so don't count on that. On the other hand, you have to play move left, right, use your corners, use your islands, and it's pretty strong versus destroy, even though you have not the best DPM. But what I'm trying to say is that it's how high percent to put your enemy on fire. It's whopping 19%. Yeah, 19%, and those 12 hard-hitting Japanese HE guns, yeah, definitely could work. Good concealment, good maneuverability, and so on. On the other hand, the battleship will just laugh at you when they will hit you. And something else is kind of the only big downside with this ship. It's definitely the AA. If you're facing carrier, you're kind of screwed. The AA, it's very lockable, and for that reason, I even go so far that probably Hipper it's not a bad ship, especially at close quarter when you have, torpedoes, Batlozo torpedoes, and pretty good-ish armor. On the other hand, you only have Hydro. It's better to take the Tallinn. Tallinn is literally a Soviet Hipper. That's what it is, with even more guns. They got kind of a power creep. I'm not saying that you can do bad, because the AA it's fantastic, unlike the Atago or RP Takao. Yes, they can still be strike, but if you have any knowledge of the game and you press O reinforcement and you stick with some other cruisers, it's definitely not a bad pick. And of course, for that reason, with radar and pre-maneuvership, the Cleveland in this probably destroyer or CV meta, it's definitely also a not a bad pick. Remember, the biggest downside with Cleveland is the floaty arcs and kind of a poor range, but in this case I still believe that you are a monster at close range. Use your island, use your radar, and use a pretty damn good AA. I do believe she will be pretty darn strong in right hands and in right maps. So yes, I do recommend her if you know how to play a cruiser. If you don't, then take your best battleship and so on. I'm not saying, guys, listen, this is kind of important. I'm not saying let's go very fast for some ships. There are a lot of good looking ships like Baltimore. It's definitely not a bad pick in many ways. The big difference right now with Baltimore and some tier 8 ships, they do have better armor than a tier 7, so hard hitting US AP shells are always welcome, you know what I mean. And you may also argue that Mogami, it's definitely a strong cruiser versus anything light like British Royal Navy or destroyer. God forbid if a destroyer just pop up, you will melt that poor destroyer like nobody's business. You as a destroyer, you have no chance whatsoever to deal with the Mogami. The Mogami is actually made to absolutely murder destroyers, absolutely to put your enemy on fire. The biggest problem is that she cannot angle. No matter what angle, you eat AP pens like nobody's business, and that's the biggest problem. It's too big of a ship. You as big as a battleship, and you have no heal and you have no armor. Even though she got to receive some armor buff some places, she could be strong once again in right hands. Overall, I still believe there will be a lot of battleship out there, and probably some destroyers. Guys, I really have hard to mention any good destroyer. There is probably, I'm just saying, probably one destroyer that some way could work, but the biggest problem with this ship, it's definitely you kind of a slow, you kind of a screwed. There's a several radar cruiser all over the place. You will die very, very, very fast, and the smoke and the speed will definitely not help you. And in some regards, guys, the same stories with Erland and with other pretty damn good torpedo boat. I mean, this is not a bad torpedo boat and probably decent AA, but the problem is, once again, even though the CV won't strike you every time, the enemy on his team, all he needs to do, the CV, it's just spot for the team and destroy without smoke. Kind of a bad, really, really darn bad. I wish that I could say something. If the CV won't there, this ship definitely had a bigger potential. But overall, I like to say that Lightning is one of the best tier 8 destroyer up there. I will put her, well, I'll put her damn number 1 of all destroyers. If you're lucky to play without radar and without CV, this ship, it's a beast. Well, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna blap battleships left and right, and even some cruiser. You have one of the stealthiest destroyer at tier 5.5 kilometers, absolutely fantastic. The guns are fantastic, but the one who's gonna do great job, it's those torpedo. You only have 8 of them. Yes, you only have 8 of them, but they are very workable. The big shall I say, good thing about this destroyer, it's extremely stealthy. Extremely stealthy. This is as stealthy as the stealthiest destroyer in the entire game. 5.5. Who's gonna beat this? Absolutely nobody. And if a Kagero wants to fight this one, you're never gonna win that fight. Never gonna win that fight. So yeah, could be a lot of fun without CV and without Radar's cruiser. So overall, guys, I would like to say, let me know in the comment below which one do you think. Before I gonna stop this long review of my recommended ship, I would like to say that all CV, they are pretty damn strong. I cannot say that Lexington it's weaker than let's say the Japanese Shukaku. Both of them, they have their strength and the weakness, but overall I felt the rocket plane for the Shukaku, it's much more deadly because it's much more close, so you can actually do more damage. And of course also the torpedo bombers are the way to go. But versus German ships, I do believe the best weapon a Shukaku could have is those AP bombs, unfortunately, and that's the reason I'm concerned about the Germans one. They eat Citadel like nobody's business, especially versus a Japanese carrier with the stupid AP bombs, which they do a lot of damage. They do, in my honest opinion, too much damage. I mean, if you land all your torpedoes 3 times in the road, and that ship it's AFK, yes, you heard me read, you're never gonna do as much damage as one perfect drop from the AP bombs. They settle the crap out of you, and literally one single drop, they cripple you real darn bad. Yes, you might lose all your planes or close to all your planes, but you cripple that battleship, especially some German battleship. The AP performer, it's absolutely wacko. And same story with the Lexington's HE bombs. It's idiot proof, shall I say, HE penetration and percent to put you on fire with this HE bombs are absolutely huge. It's very unlikely you're not gonna have one single fire every time your dive bombers are attacking. And of course the same story it's with the Implacable, which has one of the best torpedo, very easy to land torpedo, and the dive bombers are they are extremely strong, strong, guys. Not because you're doing the whole of damage, but most likely you're gonna have several fires, not just one, several fires. The downside and the biggest weakness about this ship, it's definitely the rocket planes. The rocket plane, it's actually mediocre versus US and versus the Japanese counterparts. So guys, there you have it. Of course there's a premium ships, maybe I'm just saying there's a lot of captain gonna have their enterprise ships engage this rank season, grab Zeppelin and many other ships they will most likely have, so they'll be very rough versus destroyers, and some regards even rough versus battleships as well. So yeah, let me know in a comment below what you think about this latest 12th season of the rank season. Have a good one, guys. Take care and bye.